Susanna.
I'll be with you in a moment.
Goodbye. Have a good time, sir. Oh, Mr. Martingale. Have a good time. And forget about the stock market. Give $1 million, take $1 million. What's the difference?
I believe in taking, not giving.
Well, what's the hurry? The Riviera will wait for you two.
Well, I promised Mr. Gautier I'd sing at the charity bazaar for French children.
And I'm going to lead the applause.
Aren't you going, sir? There'll be a kissing booth and charming French mamsells purveying their kisses for charity.
I certainly am not going. I have better ways to spend my money.
Name one.
Come along, Nugie. Captain Huxley wants to stand on the bridge and dream of his romantic past. Bye, sir.
Romantic past? Mr. Johnson, if an emergency arises, I can be located at the kissing booth at the charity bazaar.
Merci beaucoup, mademoiselle. Let us hope the auction tonight is as popular.
Well, thank you.
L'enfant, maintenant, vous pouvez aller goûter, hein?
Are they darling kids? You'd make a wonderful mother, Susanna. That should be your next project for the new year.
Well, do you mind if I get married first?
Oh,
Stand still. Don't move a muscle.
I saw this in a gangster picture once. The bullet went right through the two of them. What was that all about?
Well, do you remember my telling you about my classmate, Emily Gibney? The one who got 4 school letters to my 3, and 3 gold dancing cups to my 2, and 2 boyfriends to my 1, and still had time to be a pill?
Oh, that was your classmate?
No, that was Emily's mother, who never lets me forget that I'm me and Emily's better.
Well, I'm sure glad we missed her. Oh, look, the Wheel of Fortune. I got a surefire way of winning. Got it from a baker in Singapore. Of all people.
Well, Mrs. Gibney, how nice to have seen you.
Why, what a lucky accident. I was about to leave. I could have missed you.
Well, yes, you could have.
I have to catch a plane for Paris, but I do have a couple of minutes, and I know you're just dying to hear all about Emily.
You couldn't have chosen a better word.
Well, let's begin at the beginning. You know how attractive Emily is to men.
Yes.
Didn't she steal one of your boyfriends, dear?
Well, no, I donated him to her. I had 13, and I was superstitious.
You were always a cheerful loser. Well, along came Harold and stole our little Emily's heart away. They're living in a 12-room house in Scranton. And what's happening in your little life? Work, 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 I suppose.
You say your plane leaves right away?
Yes, it does.
What was it you were asking me? Oh, yes. Yes, work.
Oh.
Well, I haven't done any in so long I'd forgotten the word.
You're not working for a living?
Oh, heavens, to Fort Knox, no. I'm taking a luxury cruise around the world.
A luxury cruise? Isn't that expensive?
Well, in our set, we always say, if you have to ask the price, then you can't afford to buy it. I learned that from my husband.
You're married? Tell me about it, all about it.
Oh, well, I'd really love to. Oh, Tempest Fugits, and you have that plane to catch.
Dear, you're right. Oh, I'm so happy for you, my dear. So happy.
Bye, Mrs. Gibney. Come back. Come back. Come back. Well, happy days are here again. I just bumped into Mrs. Gibney.
I thought you wanted to miss her.
Oh, but that was before I realized how well I was doing. Oh, I really laid it on thick. If it isn't our noble captain.
For the 11th time, on behalf of the Orders of France, I thank you.
Oh, well, that won't be necessary. Captain Huxley never shirks his civic duty.
I cannot say this name, but I think I call you Captain Hotlips.
Hot lips. Well, yeah, that sounds very appropriate. Excuse me, mademoiselle, while I go get some more tickets.
Mr. Charles G. Martingale, Deck A, Presidential Suite.
Oh, how do you do, Miss Pomeroy, Miss Nugent?
Do you mark down every time you kiss a girl?
Only if it's deductible.
Well, doesn't that sort of take the fun out of giving?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, there's no fun in giving. I believe in getting full value for every dollar.
Madame, would you be kind enough to keep an eye on Fifi while I call my boyfriend?
Fifi?
There will be no trouble. And could you tell any patrons I will return to the suite?
Oh, what can I lose?
Thank you.
So, you see, my business methods haven't hurt me any. I have oil interests in Venezuela, coal mines in Pennsylvania, tin mines in Bolivia.
No diamond mines?
Just a small one in South Africa.
Oh, hardly worth mentioning.
Will you excuse me? I promised the local press I'd give them an interview on world finance.
Oh, well, you do that.
Oh, wonderful news. I've just telephoned the airport and my plane's been delayed. Now, you can tell me all about your husband.
My husband? Oh, him.
What's his name?
Oh.
Well, pucker up, mademoiselle. Here's your Captain Hot Lips. Nugent. Oh, well, for the orphans.
Susanna, your husband does have a name, doesn't he?
Of course. It's Martingale. Charles G. Martingale.
Charles Martingale? The one whose picture's always in the paper? The Martingale?
Well, you don't think I'd marry a Martingale. We met while Charles was traveling from his oil fields in Venezuela to his coal mines in Pennsylvania. We honeymooned in Bolivia to be near our tin. My engagement ring came from our own diamond mine.
Oh, look.
It's this. Huge. Oh, there's Miss Nugent, my secretary.
Oh, secretary. Any dictation, ma'am?
No dictation. Just cancel my luncheon engagements. I'm dining on the terrace with my husband.
You're having lunch here? How wonderful. You and Charles can dine with me. My plane doesn't leave until noon. Well, I know Emily's husband wouldn't have kept her waiting like this.
When Charles gets tied up in a big business deal, he almost forgets he's married.
Just the same, he could have sent word.
I guess I'll sharpen my pencil.
Oh, Mrs. Gibney, you haven't said a thing about Emily lately.
Well, to tell you the truth, Emily's a bit of a disappointment. She could have made a better marriage.
Madame Charles Martingale?
Oh, here.
Oh.
Thank you. Wonder who it can be. Hello? Oh, it's you, Charles, darling.
Hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the clock.
What's that, Charles?
The clock struck 1. The mouse came down. Hickory dickory dock.
Oh, you're tied up in conference. Well, don't forget you promised me a new corporation for my birthday. What's that, honey? Well, I love you, too.
Isn't that your husband over there?
couldn't be. He's in here. I'll see you later, honey. These pranksters, always imitating important people on the telephone. Sir, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
He doesn't see you. Yoo-hoo! Mr. Martingale!
I'll go get him. Mr. Martingale, do you see that lady over there? She's in charge of the charity bazaar, and she's counting on you for a large donation.
I just remembered an important engagement. Excuse me.
Well, that's Charles for you. Business first as always. He said he'd love to spend some time with you this afternoon, but then you have to catch that plane to Paris.
Oh, dear, you're right. I was wrong.
Remember me to Emily.
Now that you're a millionaire's wife, what about a dime for that phone call?
Well, just take it out of petty cash. Oh, well, so much for Mrs. Gibney.
Attention, courtesy announcement. Due to approaching storm, all planes for Paris and the north of France will be grounded until midnight.
Uh-oh. I had more fun when I was poor.
Everybody else going to Cannes to see the casino, the film festival, and the perfume factories. All I've got to put in my diary is I played 18 games of ring toss and lost them all.
Well, at least I'm safe here. If we went into town, we'd be sure to run into Mrs. Gibney.
Well, what are you doing aboard?
Oh, well, my love for the Ocean Queen, sir. The feel of solid planks beneath my feet and the salty brine in my face.
I see. So you got in trouble again. Well, carry on.
He should talk. You know what that girl in the kissing booth called him?
What?
Captain Hot Lips.
Oh, Susanna!
Huh?
Oh, Susanna! Oh, there you are. Isn't it wonderful? My plane's been delayed until midnight.
I know. But how did you know how to find me?
Thanks to your secretary. During lunch, she was doodling Ocean Queen all over the tablecloth. Oh.
Shall I go sharpen my pencil?
No, throw it away. I mean, with all my money, why use seconds?
Well, where is he?
Who? Oh, my husband. Don't mention this to a soul, but he's involved in a tremendous merger. A Project X.
Now that I'm here, I'd love to see the presidential suite you're staying in.
You've just got to get me into Mr. Martingale's suite.
There are two things I draw the line at: murder and opening rooms.
Well, I'd hate to have to tell the captain about your snitching his best Havana cigars.
How did you know?
I didn't, but I do now. Right this way, Mrs. Gibney.
Oh, why, it's lovely.
Well, it's not home, but it's adequate. Well, now that you've seen it, why don't we go back up on deck?
Oh, my, how luxurious. Oh, you'll just never get me out of this chair.
Oh, well, I've got to. I mean, well, why don't we go and have some canapes in the salon? They're serving right now, aren't they, Cedric?
Right now.
Oh, I would like a snack.
Oh, good.
Oh, no, let's eat right here. Then maybe your husband will get back in time to join us.
by all means. Anything for Mrs. Gibney. Hurry, Cedric.
You don't have a bar in a suite like this. I would like a little snifter.
Of course, we have a bar. Nugie, darling, would you roll out the liquid refreshments? This one's the bar. This must be the burglar alarm. Well, there we are. Nugie, would you see what's on tap, please? Well, I'm being bourbon to death. Help! Get me out of here. I'll get you. Just be calm. Turn your head. Turn your... Stop yelling and go!
What's the big rush?
It's for Mr. Martingale, sir. He's in a frightful hurry.
Come in, steward.
Miss Pomeroy. Here, give me that.
Don't be too hard on her, sir. She's just trying to impress some lady by telling us she's Mrs. Martingale.
Wait a minute. Quick. Brandy. It's in there. Never mind. For heaven's sake, steward, come in. Does the captain serve the canopies?
I think my pencil needs sharpening again.
Well, Mrs. Martingale, what have you got to say?
Have you heard this new romantic ballad they're playing?
Yes, and it's very nice. What is it called?
Capitaine Hot Leaps. So far, it's only been heard by a select few, but when it really becomes popular...
Mrs. Martingale, shall I serve the canopies?
Trying to jump overboard? Who?
Me! Farewell, solid world!
Miss Newton, stop it. Stop. Don't do it.
And why shouldn't I? Life is such a hollow mockery. Men, they spurn me, they grind me under their heels.
Well, that's hardly a reason for doing what you're about to do.
Oh, well, what a beautiful philosophy. Tell me more.
Be sure and write Emily about the wonderful day we've had.
The day's not over yet. I'm sure I'll see you and Charles at the bazaar tonight.
Oh, well, there's nothing Charles and I would like better, but unfortunately, the ship leaves at 6.
Oh, well, I have some good news for you, Mrs. Martingale. Due to the storm, the ship will not sail until 11 o'clock. So I see no reason why you and dear Charles can't be with Mrs. Gibney tonight. No. Now, don't thank me.
Isn't it wonderful? Well, see you at the bazaar tonight. And don't forget, if you're not there, I'll come aboard and get you and Charles.
Sir, I don't know how I'll ever repay you, but I'll think of something.
One has been bid. You are here two.
I bid two.
Thank you, monsieur. Will anyone bid 3,000? 3,000? Sold for 2. Donated by this gentleman for this charming doll made in our orphanage.
Why come back here? Don't you get tired of sticking your head in a noose?
It's a calculated risk we fibbers have to take. We left Mr. Martingale safe aboard. The ship leaves soon. What do we got to fear from Mrs. Gibney?
Excuse me, ladies. And don't mind me. I'm just here waiting for the fireworks.
I don't see any fireworks.
Well, you will as soon as Mr. Martindale gets here. And do not blame me now. I even tried to talk him out of it.
I'll bet he did. Let's head for the hills.
Oh, Susanna, where's Charles?
Well, he was here just a minute ago. I'll go get him.
Oh, he'll find us. Oh, look at that darling scarf they're auctioning.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2.
Oh, my dear, I'm sure Charles would want you to bid.
Oh, you're so right. 2. For $2, what can I lose?
I'll bid 3.
Don't let him steal it. The wall alone is worth more than that.
Don't worry. I'll bid 4.
4, madame? Thank you, madame. The lady has bid $4,000.
4,000? Well, I don't have that kind of money.
Well, not with you, of course, but I'm sure your husband.
Oh, hold everything.
Thank you, madame.
Mr. Martindale, this morning you said you believe in getting your money's worth.
Yes, I certainly do.
Well, you see that beautiful hand-woven scarf? It's going for only 4.
4? Why, I paid 10 for one like that, and it wasn't even imported. I bid 5.
Monsieur has bid $5,000. Going, gone.
5,000? Now, just a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the eminent American financier and philanthropist, Mr. Charles G. Martingale.
And now, one of the recipients of Monsieur's generosity wishes to thank him in person.
Sorry I had to double-cross you. It's not too late to back out.
A chance. For the first time, I'm finding out what it's like really to get my money's worth. Thank you, my dear.
If you really want to thank me, would you...
I'd be delighted.
Not so amorous. Remember, you're supposed to be my husband. Goodbye, Mrs. Gibney. Remember me to Emily.